Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about one of the most important things you need for learning English that I bet you didn't even know you needed. I'm going to see if I can fix the lighting here. So, welcome. Oops, sorry about that. Welcome to this live video. Let me know in the chat if you have been here before or if this is your first time. Say hello. And I'm going to tell you today about patience. We're going to talk about patience, but we're going to talk about more than the obvious, more than what you maybe already know or maybe you've already thought about. We're going to talk about a couple of different ways this is going to help your English language learning journey. So, hello, everyone who is here so far. Be sure to give me a thumbs up. This helps me to be able to do more lives like this one. Okay, so I was out walking today. First, let me tell you, I'm going to help you to have an idea of how patient you are. Maybe you already have an idea. So put in the comments, I'm very patient. I'm patient. I'm kind of patient. I'm not patient. I need more help being more patient, whatever you think. And we're going to take a look at that as we talk today. So on my lunch break today, I went for a little walk because some of my friends were gathering, or we could say getting together, not far from here. And on the way, I saw these really pretty little wildflowers growing by the side of the road. The camera doesn't do them justice. What we mean when we say the camera doesn't do them justice is they look better in real life. I think almost everything does. But I really love these little flowers. So I said to myself on the way back, I'm going to pick some of those flowers and arrange them into a bouquet, which is what I'm doing now. I'm arranging them into a bouquet. This is a bouquet, or we could call it an arrangement. Now, normally, I just pick the flowers and shove them in there. So typically the way we use the word shove is like if you push somebody quickly like that, you're shoving someone or shoving something. Like if you have a drawer in your bedroom that not everything fits in, you need to put more clothing or something into it. You shove it in there and then shove the drawer closed. That's shoving. But today I decided to pick some of these flowers and put them together in this arrangement and share it with you. And does anybody have a guess? Why do you think I'm doing this? Put your answer in the comment. Why do you think I'm arranging the flowers instead of shoving them in here like I normally do? And I'm curious, which would you do? Would you arrange the flowers like this, like I'm doing, or are you the kind of person that likes to pick them and shove them into the vase or the jar? In this case, this is a jar. This is actually a jar I use for water when I'm painting. But today I'm using it for a vase for these flowers. So I'm curious what you do. So I don't know what type of flower this is, but they're falling all over my table here. I'm going to see if I can show you one of these little flowers in case someone knows what kind of flower this is. It's very, very tiny. Have you seen this tiny flower before? And do you know what it is? If you do, let me know because I would love to know. It's kind of like a weed here. So let's look at who says they're patient. Okay, Louise says not always. I see a lot of people have not said anything. Some of the most patient or impatient, the way we say not patient is with the prefix impatient. I'm going to type it here, but it's not working. Like this. They're probably gone already. And that's because as a society, as a world, as a culture, it depends on, of course, your culture, but even as a world, we're becoming less and less patient. Part of that is because of the internet. Part of that is because of the way we've changed lots of different things, how we feed ourselves, all kinds of things. I'm going to grab my fan. Somebody says, I suppose it's hot there. You know what? It's not that hot here, but I've been out in the sun and moving around a lot. So I'm a little more warm. I'm warmer than I usually am. Uh, Android Rock Chib says they don't have patience. Holzak says, in my case, I count 1, 2, 3, maybe to slow yourself down or calm down. Luis says it's important to arrange the flowers. You know, I love the way I've arranged these, but I have to say a lot of them, maybe half of them fell off while I was arranging them. And if I had shoved them in there, they'd probably all still be on there, but that's okay. Maybe this is good. Um, The reason I shared this with you today is so that you could kind of take a look and see, how patient am I? When I am watching a video, when I'm spending time with people, when someone is talking to me, can I just slow down and listen? And also, very, very importantly, when I'm trying to speak in English, can I be patient with myself? Now, I think the obvious part of needing patience to learn a language is that it takes a long time to be fluent. And unfortunately, there is a lot of information on the internet that says you can be fluent in a very short amount of time. And I think most of us know that that's not very realistic. It's not really true. There's different types of fluency, of course, and of course you can get to different the cat and the dog are playing. You can get to different types of fluency more quickly than others. But to be fluent in a language where you can hold a conversation, a meaningful conversation, and say pretty much anything you want to say takes quite a long time. Now, I do want to say something about that here, because if you have 8 hours a day to practice English, like some people on the internet are showing, I'm not sure very many people are doing that, but maybe if that's their job or they get paid for it in some way, because most of us need to earn a living, then you will learn more quickly than someone who has 20 or 30 minutes a day. But someone who has 20 or 30 minutes a day is eventually going to become fluent. And the type of fluency they have, we might say it's better. We might say it is more solid because they have let it grow over time. What do you think about that? Let me know in the comments, and let me see what Luis says. Did you feel frustrated when you begin to study Spanish? Luis knows that Spanish is my second language, and not at the beginning. I did not feel frustrated at the beginning because I started from zero, obviously, like we all do, and I learned a lot very quickly. But then it felt like my learning slowed way down, and I started to feel very frustrated after only, I don't know, 6 to 9 months of learning Spanish. And then it felt like that slow time, that slow learning time lasted a long, long time. So, yes, that did feel frustrating. And then it says, sometimes it's difficult. When I started to learn my own language, Spanish, it was difficult with respect to grammar. Right. Even in our native language, there are a small number of people who really understand the grammar. And so then when we come to learn a new language, most of us start with grammar, or very quickly start to learn about grammar. And that can not only make it frustrating, but very difficult. Now, I'm not saying grammar is not important. Grammar, of course, is a part of every language. And I think we can look at it differently than we have when we have taught languages in the past. So, let me talk about patience in a way that maybe you have not thought about it when it comes to learning a language. When we develop more patience with other people in our lives, other situations in our lives, other things that are happening, it makes our whole life flow more easily. Would you agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments. Do you agree or disagree? You can say yes or no. I agree. No, I don't agree. It depends. And hear me out. When we say hear me out, we mean listen to what I have to say and then think about what you think. So, when we have patience with other people and other situations, those things seem to go more peacefully. Louise says they agree. Um, and when things go more peacefully or easily, we tend to feel better about the situation. And when we feel better in our lives, it makes it much easier to learn anything. Pippa wants to eat the flowers. If you see the flowers moving, it's because Pippa's right over here. Look, Pip, Pip, Pip. You can't see her. She's right there. And she's nibbling on the flowers. Nibble is when we take a tiny little bite of something. I'll put nibble here in the chat. Pippa, the listeners are saying hello. She says hello. Um, and so one of the things that I think a lot of learners overlook or we don't pay attention to, we don't look at, she just jumped, is that whatever is going on in our lives affects how we learn. And so it is worth taking a little time to tend to or to spend time making our life less stressful. I see Gloria asks where SB is. SB is right here sitting quietly. I know it's hard to believe because usually she barks at least once during one of my live videos. And I think she is just being more patient today. I know that a lot of you that are here today and that watch these live videos regularly are patient because you keep coming back, even though sometimes SB barks, sometimes the everything is not perfect. And that shows me that you are more patient with yourself and with the videos. Um, and maybe there are other reasons as well that you like to come and watch the videos. Tell me in the chat, tell me in the comments why you keep coming to watch the live videos. So I talked a little bit about all of the reasons that patience can help us. Let's talk a little bit about impatient, not being patient. Typically, when we are not patient with the process of learning English, of course, that can lead to many difficult things, like it makes it more difficult to learn. It could even go as far as to make us stop, either for a while or forever. But let's talk especially about being impatient with ourselves. And then I have one more thing about impatience. When we are impatient with ourselves, our self-esteem goes down, our confidence goes down. And I think we all know that confidence is an important part of learning a language. And for sure, it's an important thing we need for speaking. So learning to be more patient with ourselves during the time we're learning English, but also in other parts of our lives is going to help. Let's talk about being impatient with others. How does that affect our English learning journey? Well, first of all, group classes are a very helpful way to learn any language because language is about connecting with other people. And so being in a group where you can talk with other people is very helpful. But if we feel impatient, it makes it hard to be in a group. However, there are other things. Let's talk a little bit about being impatient with the people in our lives, whether they're learning English or not. I know that we all get impatient with other people, myself included. And when that happens, it causes stress. And that stress causes everything in our lives to be more difficult, even if it's just a little bit, but sometimes it's a lot. So, practicing being patient in the places where we can. So, maybe not in the most difficult parts of our lives, but if we currently are patient with things that are not too difficult, maybe we can try being just a little more patient and a little more patient and a little more patient. If you've been around English Coach 3Ts very long here or on Instagram, you know I'm often talking about building things a little at a time because it is so effective and works so well. And patience is one of those things that really works well that way. So I see some comments here I want to take a look at. Hi, Rennie says, hi, Tanya. It's nice to see you and Pippa. Here in Brazil now, it's very hot. I think we have to be patient to learn a second language. You are absolutely right. And good job typing something in the comments. I was talking with a student in our She Speaks Women's Fluency program today, and she was saying how it makes her a little nervous to type something either on a live video, in our Slack community, in She Speaks, in any type of message with someone, and it stops her. That little bit of nervousness stops her from typing something. And so I'm helping her to build that confidence because learning to get over that nervousness is a huge part of learning to connect with other people and therefore becoming more fluent. It also takes a lot of patience, particularly with yourself. Luis says, well, if you are sad, tired, etc., it's difficult to focus your attention for learning a language. Absolutely, 100%. In fact, I'm going to say two things here, actually. I tend to study more or practice more when I have had a lot of rest, but it's interesting. I also like to do it right before bedtime. It may be a different way of learning at that time, but it is more difficult for my brain to read in Spanish, so it helps me to go to sleep. Gloria, welcome. She says, I don't know if it happens to you the same, but sometimes I feel that I go with the flow when I speak. This is excellent. When I speak, listen, or write in English. But but on other times, I have a pretty slow to advance in the language. Yes, all of us have times when we are advancing more quickly and times when we are advancing more slowly and everything in between. This is normal for the process of learning a language. So really we have to try to be patient with ourselves no matter how fast or slow we are learning because it's all a part of the language. And different days, different times, different circumstances change the way we learn. Oh, thank you for the heart. Some you ask what kind of flowers these are. I don't know. Earlier I was asking if anyone knows what type of flowers these are. I'd love to know. Pardon me. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up. In other words, I'm going to finish the video for today. I would love to have time to work with you if you are a woman with an intermediate to advanced level of English and you want some help getting to that next level. Be sure and go to my website and check out our She Speaks program. You can find more information and get on the wait list there. And I will put the link below this video so that it's easy to find. And if you have any questions about what I've talked about today, put those in the questions in the comments below because I have some time later today while I'm working on some other things to take a look at those questions and hopefully help you out there. All right. Thank you for joining me. It's always great to see you all here on Saturdays, and I will see you in another live very soon. Bye.